There are moments in life when we realize that not everyone we meet is meant to stay. We build connections, share laughter, dreams, and tears, believing they are permanent chapters in our story. But life, in its mysterious ways, teaches us that some people are only temporary visitors. The hardest truth to accept is that not every bond is meant to last forever. Sometimes, the people who once felt like home eventually become strangers with memories. We keep asking ourselves what went wrong, why things changed, and why love faded into silence. But maybe it's not about losing them. It's about finding yourself through their absence. There comes a time when holding on starts to hurt more than letting go. We cling to the memories, the words, and the promises, hoping they will somehow bring the past back to life. But the past has already done its job. It has taught you, shaped you, and strengthened you. The pain you feel now is not punishment, it's transformation. You can't move forward if you keep rewriting the same chapter. Letting go doesn't mean you never cared. It simply means you care enough to give yourself peace. When people walk away, don't chase them. Respect their decision and redirect your energy toward healing. Sometimes we confuse attachment with love and comfort with happiness. We stay in places that no longer nurture our growth just because we fear the emptiness that comes after goodbye. But silence has a purpose. It gives you space to hear your own voice again. There's power in solitude. It teaches you what you truly need, not what you were merely used to. You start realizing that peace is far more valuable than forced connections. The absence of noise becomes the beginning of clarity. The more you release what's not meant for you, the lighter your soul becomes. People are lessons disguised as blessings or warnings. Each one plays a role in shaping the person you are meant to become. Some come to love you, some to test you, and some to awaken parts of you that you never knew existed. Don't label every ending as a loss. Sometimes it's a rescue. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and understand that their departure was necessary for your evolution. When you let go of those who no longer align with your journey, you make room for new people who match your energy and purpose. The universe replaces what's gone with something better every single time. Letting go doesn't mean erasing someone from your memory. It means releasing the emotional grip they have on your heart. It's acknowledging that they were an important chapter, but not the entire story. You can still wish them well without wishing them back. You can be grateful for the moments that once made you smile, without craving their return. Healing begins when you stop rewriting old dialogues and start writing your own new narrative. You are allowed to miss people and still move forward. Growth often requires painful goodbyes that lead to beautiful new beginnings. The truth is, not everyone can understand your journey, and that's okay. Some people leave because their part in your story is over, and their presence would only limit your next chapter. Every person you lose teaches you something about your own strength, patience, and worth. The emptiness they leave behind becomes a mirror reflecting how capable you are of standing alone. It's in those quiet moments of loss that you discover your resilience. You realize that even when everything seems to fall apart, you still have the power to rebuild yourself stronger than before. So when life asks you to let go, don't resist the change. Accept it with grace, even if your heart trembles. Trust that every ending is leading you closer to the person you are meant to be. The art of letting go is not about forgetting others, but about remembering yourself. Every goodbye is an opportunity to come home, to your peace, your strength, and your self-worth. The moment you stop clinging to what's gone, life begins to unfold in ways you never imagined. And slowly, you learn that the most beautiful form of love is the one you give yourself when everyone else walks away. When someone walks away, the emptiness they leave behind often feels unbearable. You start searching for closure in places that only reopen old wounds. You replay every word, every silence, every moment, trying to understand where it all went wrong. But sometimes closure doesn't come from others. It comes from within. Healing is not about finding answers. It's about making peace with questions that may never be answered. You can't heal while constantly touching the wound, hoping it will hurt less each time. True healing begins when you stop seeking their apology and start giving yourself forgiveness. The world often tells you to move on quickly, to replace the pain with distractions, or to act as if it never affected you. But healing doesn't follow anyone's timeline. It takes the time it needs. You can't rush your emotions or silence your grief just because others are uncomfortable with your sadness. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of reflection is a step toward freedom. Healing is not linear, it's messy, unpredictable, and deeply personal. Some days you'll feel strong, and other days you'll feel broken again. But even on those hard days, your soul is quietly repairing itself. When someone leaves, it's easy to lose yourself in the emptiness they leave behind. You start to define your worth through their absence, questioning if you were enough to make them stay. But you must remember, you were never the reason for their choice. Their journey simply no longer aligned with yours. Your value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. The right people will recognize your light, while the wrong ones will walk away because they can't handle its brilliance. So stop doubting your worth based on temporary people. Start reclaiming your energy and giving it back to yourself. Healing requires patience and self-compassion. You can't scold your heart for feeling or rush your soul to be okay. There's beauty in allowing yourself to feel everything without judgment. Pain, when faced with courage, becomes the doorway to wisdom. It teaches you where your boundaries should be, what your heart truly needs, and how strong you really are. The same pain that once broke you will one day become your greatest strength. Healing is not forgetting. It's remembering without breaking, breathing without bitterness, and moving forward without fear. That's the silent victory of a healed heart. You owe yourself the same love and attention you once gave so freely to others. The same compassion you offered to those who hurt you should now be directed inward. Speak kindly to yourself because your thoughts are the soil in which your healing grows. Take care of your mind the way you care for a fragile flower, gently, patiently, and consistently. Do things that make your soul feel alive, even in small ways. Listen to music, write your pain, walk under the open sky. Every act of self-love, no matter how small, is a step closer to peace. When you stop chasing closure from others, you begin to rebuild your sense of wholeness. You no longer wait for someone to validate your pain or acknowledge your efforts. You realize that the person you were trying to save was never them. It was you. You start understanding that healing doesn't mean erasing the past, but rather accepting that it no longer defines your future. The more you focus on yourself, the more your energy shifts from desperation to empowerment. You start to glow again, not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned to shine through the cracks. Healing is not about pretending you are fine. It's about embracing the truth that you're still learning to be. You don't need to justify your emotions or compare your journey to anyone else's. Everyone heals differently, And that's perfectly okay. The most important thing is to keep showing up for yourself every single day. Let your scars remind you not of what you've lost, but of what you've survived. You are not the broken pieces of your past. You are the masterpiece built from them. And when you finally learn to love yourself through the pain, that's when true healing begins. There are moments when rejection feels like the end of everything you believed in. It feels like a door slammed in your face just when you were brave enough to hope again. But what if that door wasn't meant to open? What if the pain you're feeling now is actually protection in disguise? Sometimes the universe removes people, jobs, or situations not to punish you, but to redirect you towards something greater. The things you lose are often replaced by blessings you never saw coming. The rejection that once broke you can become the reason you rise higher than you ever imagined. It's easy to take rejection personally and see it as proof that you're not enough. You start doubting your abilities, your worth, and even your dreams. But rejection is rarely about you. It's about alignment. What's truly meant for you will never require you to beg or chase. It will flow with ease because it's part of your divine plan. Sometimes you're delayed, not denied. You're being prepared for something that matches your purpose, not your impatience. The closed doors are not barriers. They're signposts pointing you toward where you truly belong. Every no you receive in life carries a hidden yes from the universe. That failed relationship, that lost opportunity, that painful goodbye. They are all redirections guiding you to something better. It's hard to see it when you're hurting, but one day you'll look back and realize that everything made perfect sense. You'll understand that what you wanted wasn't truly what you needed. You'll see that the rejection you once cried over was the very thing that set you free. Life's rejections are not curses. They are course corrections. They move you closer to your destiny, one heartbreak at a time. When someone walks away, don't chase after them. Let them go with grace, even when it hurts. Their departure is not a reflection of your worth, but of their capacity to stay. Sometimes people leave not because you did something wrong, but because they can't meet you at the level you're growing into. The path you're meant to walk might require you to travel lighter. You can't climb mountains while carrying the weight of what's not meant for you. Every goodbye is a gentle nudge from life telling you to make room for something greater. Rejection teaches you resilience. It shows you how to stand even when everything inside you wants to fall. It reminds you that your strength doesn't come from being accepted by others, but from believing in yourself when no one else does. The most powerful people are not those who never face rejection, but those who rise after every fall. Each setback becomes a lesson in faith, patience, and self-belief. You begin to realize that the things that didn't work out weren't losses. They were lessons dressed as disappointments. And through them, you learn to trust the process more than the outcome. The universe has a beautiful way of rearranging your path when you least expect it. What feels like an ending is often the beginning of something far more meaningful. You might lose people, opportunities, or dreams, but what's truly yours will always find its way back. Sometimes, God hides blessings behind the disguise of rejection, so you can grow strong enough to handle them. You are being guided to something that aligns with your purpose and peace. Every delay is divine timing in action, preparing you for the chapter where everything starts to make sense. When you stop seeing rejection as failure, it becomes freedom. You stop clinging to things that were never meant for you and start embracing the beauty of redirection. You learn that not every door needs to open, and not every person is meant to stay. You begin to trust that what leaves you is simply making space for what will heal you. Life doesn't take from you, it trades with you. It replaces what's lost with something that fits your soul better. And when that realization finally sinks in, you no longer fear rejection. You welcome it as redirection toward the life you were always meant to live. There comes a time when you realize that the most important project you will ever work on is yourself. You spend so much of your life trying to fix, save, or please others that you forget to nurture your own heart. You lose yourself in the noise of people's expectations, in the endless chase for approval that never truly satisfies. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't heal others when your own soul is bleeding. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you finally learned the value of your peace. You owe yourself the same care you've been giving to everyone else. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean shutting the world out. It means tuning back into your own frequency. It's about remembering who you are when no one else is around to define you. You start recognizing that your worth is not measured by what others think of you, but by how deeply you honor your own journey. You stop seeking validation from people who were never capable of understanding your depth. When you turn your attention inward, you find strength in solitude and confidence in silence. You learn that growth often happens away from the spotlight, in the quiet moments where you face yourself honestly. The path of self-focus is not always comfortable because it requires honesty. It demands that you confront your fears, insecurities, and the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But that's where transformation begins. In the raw, unfiltered truth of your own being, you begin to see your mistakes not as failures, but as lessons guiding you toward better choices. Every scar becomes a story of survival, every setback a reminder of your resilience. The more you learn to sit with your pain instead of escaping it, the stronger and more grounded you become. Growth is painful, but staying the same hurts far more. When you start prioritizing yourself, you might lose people who benefited from your self-neglect. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have. You've changed from being drained to being deliberate, from pleasing others to honoring your peace. It's not arrogance to walk away from chaos. It's self-respect. You can love people deeply and still choose yourself without guilt. Real love doesn't demand you to shrink so others can shine. It allows you to grow freely, even if that growth means walking separate paths. The people meant for your journey will celebrate your evolution, not fear it. Self-focus is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. You start investing your time in things that bring you joy and peace. You set boundaries not to push people away, but to protect your energy. You begin to understand that saying no is an act of self-love, not rejection. The more you honor your needs, the more your life aligns with your true essence. You stop surviving out of habit and start living with intention. The peace you were searching for in others was waiting for you within yourself all along. You begin to realize that your happiness was never meant to depend on someone else's behavior. It was always your responsibility to create it. You take back your power by no longer allowing others to dictate your emotions. You stop chasing temporary validation and start building lasting self-worth. You replace comparison with gratitude and anxiety with purpose. You find comfort in your own company and strength in your independence. And slowly, You start to glow differently. Not because someone loves you, but because you finally love yourself. That inner glow becomes your quiet revolution. Focusing on yourself transforms the way you see the world. You no longer crave external approval because you found peace within. You understand that your journey is uniquely yours, and comparison is a thief of joy. You start celebrating small victories, appreciating the person you're becoming day by day. Life feels lighter when you no longer carry the weight of everyone else's expectations. You finally understand that your worth is not tied to anyone's presence or absence. You are whole, capable, and complete just as you are. And when you live from that truth, everything that's truly meant for you naturally finds its way home.